Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Good morning, guys. It is 7:59 on Tuesday the 17th of March 2026, St. Patrick's Day, and just a quick look at how things stand. The position in the market was up 0.06% at close yesterday, so virtually unchanged, and you can see the market's been pretty flat. The price there was 95.50. In terms of the portfolio itself, the current value is sitting at 31,600. The return on investment has fallen a little bit. It's down to 28.6%. There are 331 shares in the portfolio, and the average purchase price is 74.26. So the market's just about to open, I imagine, unless that is I have miscalculated and there's a holiday today with it being St. Patrick's Day. I don't think I saw any mention of that, but let's just have a look in the notifications. So it looks as if we're safe enough. Biggest stocks before earnings: Microvast, Tencent Music Entertainment, GDS, Elbit Systems, I think that is, and Semtech. The only one of those that I can say that I've heard much about at all is Tencent. I don't recognize the other names, but that doesn't really matter because I'm not buying individual stocks and shares, I'm buying the market. And that simplifies things greatly. Okay, so the numbers have reset there. As you can see, the figure for today is now sitting at 0.00. So market just about to open. And while we're waiting for all that to happen, let me draw your attention to Monzo.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. Can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up, how'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
We can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, and as noted on screen there are affiliate links in the description for the video. In the event that you might like to sign up to Monzo or Smarty Mobile, I would benefit as well as you getting some sort of a credit, I think, in most cases, but the terms and conditions are made known in the sign-up pages. So as you can see at the top right here, there's been little change. The figures have reset, but it doesn't appear as if the market is showing any activity just yet. I don't recall if I said, yeah, we're actually near enough at the halfway point in this fire journey or fire experiment where we've completed 3 weeks. Sorry, we've completed 3 years and 50 weeks, so we're nearly at the 4-year point, and that means that we're approaching halfway mark in the free funds. So currently free funds showing as 25,400. And once we get below the 25,000, then we are in the final half of the money made available in the Trading 212 practice account. Excuse me. Regular viewers to the channel will know that I invest weekly, and basically the logic is that it's a consistent weekly investment, irrespective of whatever the market is doing at the time. So if we zoom in a little bit on that last section of the market, you can just about see there is a very slight gradual decline from where it had been, and a lot of that has to do with this new conflict in or with Iran. I'll not say too much about that because it's probably not wise to do so. Let's just say that not all Americans even are on board with the action being taken by the US administration. Approval ratings are lower than they had been as far as I'm aware, and there is some general international disquiet about the understanding of where Iran was actually at in terms of its development of particular items. Many seem to be of the opinion that things were not really as presented, and that what we have seen is some kind of a recycling almost of the narrative which led up to the first Gulf War way back in, I think it was 1991. Somebody might correct me on that, but that's roughly right as far as I know. So as I say, no movement here at the present time. Let's actually just have a quick look at a couple of figures. So if you recall, during the introduction, there are various points put across in relation to how much you need to achieve your fire number and so on. So basically it's your monthly expenses multiplied by 25 would be your total fire number. And it's also explained that because of the 4% rule, that equates to basically £300 for every £1 you want to spend in retirement, so if that's what you choose to do. So what I want to do is actually just take the current portfolio value, so it's sitting at 31,600. I'm going to ignore the last bit, and we're just going to hypothesize what could you actually use a portfolio of that amount to do. So we talk about the 4% rule. So the easy way to see that is basically to multiply by 0.04, and that gives us 1200. And that essentially is the amount of money that you could expect to spend out of the portfolio in 1 year without harming it. That pretty much, if you were to take 1,200 out of that, you could pretty much expect, in average terms, the growth that you would see in the portfolio over the course of the year to make up for that spend. So as I say, that's an annual figure. Doesn't appear like an awful lot, I suppose, but nevertheless, if we were to convert that to a monthly figure, with a portfolio value of 31,000, hypothetically, every month you could spend £100, and hopefully expect that you would be able to do that again indefinitely, pretty much. And remember, this is not even 4 years in. It's almost 4 years in, and already we have a portfolio value that would allow us to spend £100 a month, without harming it. So that is pretty significant in my opinion. I think it's good to know. And I mean, let's, for talk's sake, if the portfolio value was 310,000, you can add another 0 onto that. That's basically what I've done, just multiply it all by 10. So, rather than 31,600, you would have 316,000. So we're scaling up by 10. The other way to do it, of course, divide by 300 will give us the monthly figure. So if you had a portfolio value of 316,000 per month, you could spend just over £1,000, and your portfolio value probably should be able to sustain that pretty much indefinitely. And to be honest, that's kind of getting into the sort of territory that I would be happy with in terms of declaring financial independence, if you like. At that point, of course, you are talking about basically having mortgages paid off. You would not have anything on finance. You would also need to have a financial cushion in place, so that if the stock market did take a bit of a drop, rather than drawing from the stock market, you would draw from your cushion in order to protect your portfolio and to give the stock market time to recover. But that, in essence, is the methodology, if you like. So, with that said, let's close that out. As you can see up on the right here, the market has now opened. It is down 0.25% today so far. And let's go ahead and do our weekly investment. So if, as I say, if you've watched this before, you'll know that each week I invest 120 theoretical pounds from the Trading 212 practice platform into the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund. And at the current value, that's going to buy us roughly 1.25 shares. We will send that through for execution. It is a market buy, so there's no commission payable. And we got 1.25 shares, and the purchase price was 95.25. So we hit OK on that. And now we can see that the figures have updated. We have a new portfolio value of 31,680 odd. Not showing the full amount of the 120 because of the slight downturn between opening and adding our investment. The return on investment currently sitting at just over 28%, and now we have 332 shares in the portfolio, and the average purchase price will have gone up slightly. It's now 74.34. So there we go. That is the position as things stand at 3 years and 50 weeks into the FIRE experiment or FIRE journey. If you're interested in following the journey, why not subscribe to the channel? And if you particularly enjoyed this one, I would find that hard to believe, but if you did, why not give it a thumbs up? Obviously, if you have any comments, suggestions, criticisms, or anything else, please leave them in the comments. And I will be back next week with more. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and have a peaceful St. Patrick's Day and a good week ahead.
Woke up one morning, saw the world in a new light. No more 9 to 5, I'm living my own fight. I got a plan that's simple, a number game to play. It's the freedom that I'm chasing, I'm walking away. They said it's impossible, just a dream so far, but I've learned to count the cost. Now I'm driving my own car. I don't need a mansion, don't need a fancy name. I've got peace of mind and I'm free from the daily grind shame. It's not magic, it's maths, it's a clear-cut path. Building wealth day by day, it's all about the craft. I've got my numbers straight, my future's looking bright. No more working for a paycheck, I'm free to take flight. It's not magic, it's maths, it's the way I live. Financial freedom's waiting, with all that I can give. I cut back on the clutter, I got my spending in check, investing in my future, no time for regret. The years go by faster, my money is working too. I got a plan that's steady and it's seeing me through. They said I couldn't do it, said it wouldn't last, but I'm retiring early, leaving all that stress in the past. I'm building my empire, brick by brick. The math's all adding up and it's working real quick. It's not magic, it's maths, it's a clear-cut path. Building wealth day by day, it's all about the craft. I've got my numbers straight, my future's looking bright. No more working for a paycheck, I'm free to take flight. It's not magic, it's maths, it's the way I live. Financial freedom's waiting, with all that I can give. It's the power of the numbers, that's where I stand. I'm taking control and I got the upper hand. No more chasing time, no more chasing fear. With the maths in my favor, my dream is crystal clear. It's not magic, it's maths, it's a clear-cut path. Building wealth day by day, it's all about the craft. I've got my numbers straight, my future's looking bright. No more working for a paycheck, I'm free to take flight. It's not magic, it's maths, it's the way I live. Financial freedom's waiting, with all that I can give. So head to the future, here's to the plan. Financial freedom, it's all in my head. It's not magic, it's maths, and it's mine to take. A life of freedom, no more decisions to make.